morning. Happy Wednesday to you. Time for Morning Manna. Get your coffee and let's go right into our study. We're going to start actually in chapter 3 of James, and we're going to look really just at 2 verses today. It says this: "Not many of you should become teachers, my fellow believers, because you know that we who teach will be judged more strictly. We all stumble in many ways. Anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check." Now, there's actually a lot going on here. James is offering a sober warning to the people in the church, and he's basically saying it's an admonition of sorts. It says, if you're being called or you feel led to be a teacher or a leader in the church, you need to be really taking this responsibility seriously, because the accountability is going to be greater for you. And in that accountability is going to be a stricter and harsher judgment. And that should be a fair, sobering warning to people who feel I should be teaching this, or I should be leading this, or I'm called to this, what have you. It's relatively easy in today's church to become a teacher, and it's even easier to take that teaching lightly. We rarely consider the cost. We live in an age of grace with less and less accountability. And remember, it fits very, very nicely with what Luke says in his gospel, that with whom much is given, from him much will be required. And to whom much has been committed, of him more will be asked. And so before you accept a leadership role in the church, you might want to be mindful and prayerful about seeking that out. And we understand that, teachers in the past would be tested more and held to higher degrees of scrutiny. And there is something to be said for that. I would also say on the other side of this that the church, and you've heard me say this before, has done a very, very poor job of shooting their wounded. People are human beings. Teachers of the gospel are human beings, and they will inevitably at times fall short. Doesn't mean they have to. But if they do, we shouldn't be so quick to shoot them and to be done with them, but rather go through a restoration process and support our brother as we do with other people. It's not up to us to bring the judgment. That comes from God. And then James kind of finishes it up, and he says, if anyone doesn't stumble in a word, he is a perfect man, talking about with his speech. And what he's saying is that there is a way that we measure these things by the fruit of the speakers. What is it, if you're a teacher, or if you're thinking about being a teacher or leader in the church, what comes out of your mouth? And that's your devotion for the day. Be mindful of the things that you say, because of the things you say, you will be judged. The Bible is very clear on that. So speak life to people. It's very important that you do that. Don't beat people up. Don't bring them down. Don't speak death. Speak life. Encourage, 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 as we studied a few weeks ago in 2 Timothy. It should be who we are. It should be an identifying characteristic that we build each other up in the faith. When we do that, we are putting our faith into action. And that's your devotion for today. As always, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you could be made aware every time we put out a new video. And go bless somebody else today. Go do something amazing for somebody. Expect nothing in return, and watch what happens in your life. We'll see you.